Yes.
I agree.
I'm wondering about lights there.
Yeah, I ate there the other night, and when the range lights went off, it was very dark and hard to walk down the stairs for sure.
So what time do the range lights go out?
Probably, 8:30.
We can put
Can
them out
we
later.
change that timer to 9?
Yeah. Change it
9:30?
to
Change it to
9:30,
11 if we want.
Can we? That's probably 10 o'clock, I would think, yeah.
Yeah.
If it doesn't affect the people, I mean, is the lighting issue for the houses on the other side?
We haven't had any complaints yet. He said no.
Yeah, 10 o'clock's probably,
10
Yeah.
o'clock?
but it's fine with the lights on. You can see just fine.
How late do they, I wonder how late they keep the patio open, how late they serve till?
Midnight, I think.
As long as the bar's open.
Okay.
Right?
Okay, well, we'll see, let's talk to Casey and see what,
I think we need to understand that because the risk is, we've been made aware of a trip hazard now.
Yep.
yeah.
And we need to stay
The lighting's an
diligent
issue. We just have to
during that
change the
whole.
lights.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll change the timing of the
Yeah,
lights.
yeah.
Thank you, Jeff.
No problem. I get the bollards too, though,
Okay,
just to see why.
I think it'd be nice, I'll send a sample,
Okay.
maybe two on whether you're.
Yeah, that look cool.
The stairs,
Yeah,
decorative.
okay, good.
So the bathrooms, we've started the process of having Rosie clean the bathrooms. I've gotten positive feedback. According to Jeff, he's gotten positive feedback as well,
Yeah.
keeping them clean. So far so good on that.
Great solution.
Yeah. Flowers were installed, as you see. Made some of the beds out front larger. This, how do I say this, salmon colored flowers were a bit bigger when we got them, knowing that, but that's just the way it had to be, so they're a little bit taller right now, but everything's gonna blend in here in a couple weeks. Everything's doing really good. And part of that is the Village of Estero, as you can see, has kind of finished a walk path. So we're kind of seeing how much turf is going to be left in front of that bed. I was kind of thinking maybe next time around on the flower planting, taking that little bit, because we're talking maybe 18 inches of turf, and just letting the flower bed come down to the path, the walk path a little
Easier
bit.
to maintain.
And just, and plant flowers all the way down. I think it'd look kind of nice.
Okay.
We have to add some irrigation now in front of Duffy's because they ripped out a lot of the irrigation running down that the east to west corridor, putting in that path and whatnot.
Okay, so they removed the irrigation.
Yes.
Okay,
They
we need to
pulled
talk
out.
to the village because that should not be on our expense. The deal was, they destroyed it like they did when they took the trees out.
Right.
They're going to repair it. Now, I finally got two more names of people at the county that I'm dealing with, and I've asked them to get in touch with me with regard to what they're doing along the walking path, and I've also copied David Willems from the village. And the other thing that, while we're on the walking path real quick, those two utility boxes, they will be remaining.
Remaining.
Yes. Now, I have contacted a company that does wraps.
Nice.
And I have sent them the size of the utility boxes and a preliminary design. I mean, you guys can come up with it. I was just thinking just palm fronds, just so it's green, looks like palm fronds. They will have a schematic and pricing for me by the next meeting. But I'm still working with, and I still have not gotten contact back, information back from the county as far as, can we do this, when can we do this? It will be at our expense, but they're not contacting me, so.
Is that on our property?
No, I don't believe it
I think
is.
it's an easement,
It's an easement.
utility easement.
But in prior discussions, they will allow us to do that, but they're not going to do it.
Will the village allow us to do it? Do they have to approve what we're going to put on it?
Yeah, so that's why I contacted David Willens. But we're just looking to do, and I sent several pictures of different palm fronds just to wrap it like that.
I've seen some of those in Marco Island. Those are really nice.
Yeah, and the green will blend in with what we have there. The one concrete pole is supposed to be coming out, and the wooden pole is supposed to be coming out. When, I don't know. So I'm working with that, and I'm hoping to get in touch with them, because Chuck and Tony, you remember when we spoke with the village, and the county, it'll be 2 years this August. They were in agreement with us to help us replant all the stuff at the back. So I'm still working on that. And they did say once the path was done, we would get together with that, and it seems to be well on its way. So I'm pursuing that. So just so you know that where we are with that, with the walking path. But as far as irrigation, if they broke it,
Here's the thing, I think that irrigation would have been in their easement though. Because where the irrigation was, we're not gonna be putting the irrigation back in the same spot, like the path is there now. So we had to cut it off, cap it, let them do their thing. And now that basically that whole run, which is, we'll call it 200 feet, 150, 200 feet, where it was originally, there's now that big green controller box, the path. So I'm wondering if that was originally in their easement. But it would be nice if they'd help out, because, I mean,
they should help out.
to install that, I'm looking at probably $800 to $1,000 maybe, total. That's labor, parts, pipe.
Okay. I will, when I hear from them again, I will tell them that that's part of it, that was the easement. We still need this too. And they're going to need it too if they're planting stuff there. They're going to need irrigation.
Yep,
I don't know what they're planting stuff out in front of.
surely.
Yep, they're going to plant stuff all along.
Be grass at least.
I thought they just threw that grass down and that's it. That's what they're doing.
Well,
There's some spots on there where that path is so tight up against the preserve area. I don't know what they're going to plant. There's no.
well, they're going to plant something. They're going to need irrigation, so they're going to need to help support it, or else they're going to keep replacing it. So I will contact Mike and Ryan and see what they're going to do.
Okay.
And David Williams.
Right, because they did take out the irrigation at this end here,
Yes.
remember? And we need that when it comes time to plant the clusia, or if that's what we're going to do at that. On that wall.
Yes.
So we're definitely going to need that irrigation
Yeah.
back.
Okay.
Pine Straw's coming in here shortly in May. The price of pine straw is going up. My supplier is still the cheapest. I mean, I'm still using them because they're the cheapest. But we're going to have, moving forward for the CDD, we're going to have a little bit increased pine straw bill, not only because of the fact that the cost is going up, but now when we start pine straw and this new, Calusia going out here along the way, we always did the front. We just always did the front before, just two pills, and now we're going to have to do the back.
Yeah. Okay.
So it'd just be another little additional cost. I'd say off the top of my head, probably another $1,500 every time.
Okay. When we do the budgets, we'll have to.
Actually, John, on that, not the junk, but it's kind of the same topic, between 11 and 12, is there going to be anything laid down in there?
Once again, we can. It was done prior to me working here, but the cost is.
Oh, yeah, I think that's an
It's 20.
expense we need to avoid.
It was 20 grand when they were still doing it when I first moved.
Right,
Started working
right.
12 years ago. So it's probably 30, 35. I would say 30, at least 30 grand.
Which I think is wasted money.
That's a lot of money for
Yeah.
pine straw.
I would leave it natural and just keep.
And we went and cleaned it out since. We cleaned the floor out really well. We just got done with that late last week, cleaning out the floor, going in there.
Certainly behind the green though, by the road.
So I got a guy coming in, when they do the palm trimming is coming, that's what I was gonna say next for the community. I got him coming in as well, bringing a stump grinder and cleaning that area out. The stumps, you see we repainted yellow marks, just get that roadside one really cleaned up, for the road. And maybe we can pine straw that one, right?
Yeah.
We'll do that. But not,
Between 11 and 12, I think
Yeah, I
natural,
was-
but we need to keep, we can't let it get overgrown.
no, just
Right.
keep it sprayed out.
And
Not keep it
I was playing Sunday, and I was wondering, man, we're not going to pine straw that. Because
It would look wonderful,
doing the
but I
math,
mean, it's a
looked great.
lot
I was
of
just thinking the
money.
money, it's crazy.
And a lot of, here's another thing too, pine straw is a slipping hazard. A
Yeah.
lot of it, in big, huge beds, it can be kind of dangerous sometimes.
We don't need that.
So that's where we are in that. So yeah, so the palms will be in May as well, throughout the community. Landscaping on the ball field, as you can see, it's starting to come around, come together real nice. Got a lot of,
Comments?
yes, both good and bad, but most people just needed to be educated on what was happening with the process, and then, shown what was going to be planted, and everybody's pretty much come around. Even the school had asked us about, what we're doing, and what we're going to put some stuff up.
Yeah.
So everybody seems to be pretty happy with that. They might start actually planting that today as a matter of fact.
John, how tall are those Coliseo that we're planting?
No, rather they sit probably about 3-4 feet, but within a year they're going to be 7-8 feet.
So they'll grow that fast?
They'll grow fast, and they're going to grow probably to 15 to 20, and very low maintenance, very low.
And that's what we're looking for, is low maintenance
Yeah.
and coverage.
Yeah.
And they'll thicken out and make more like a wall.
Absolutely, they'll interlock, and there'll be a wall, like a hedge.
And that's what we're going to plant by the wall.
That's what we planted behind one.
Yes.
Correct, along the wall.
Well, bringing that up, no, behind 1T is firebush.
Oh,
But that's what-
firebush, okay.
But that's what we want to plant along in the areas that we had to take down the old ficus, which I got a quote for that. But we did the handrails, okay, so that's my next thing. My printer's down. We did hit the internet, taking these out, so my internet's down, so I couldn't print them out. But I just got the quotes in last night to do the 3 sections that we've already taken out the ficuses. We didn't plant anything yet because we were worried about the wall being repaired. But we're leaving enough distance between the wall and the plantings, about 10 to 12 feet, depending on where you're at. So it's about 5,000 each section for Coliseo to be planted in there. One's 5,400, one's 5,800, the other's 5. So, and those are all 7 gallons. It'll be the same size as going in there.
Okay, and then they will grow up.
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, within,
They'll be above the wall in a year.
yeah,
Okay. Which is what we want.
with the wall height, keep it ready at the wall height, yeah.
Yeah.
And just to keep it naturally
Hey,
trimmed.
John, just one thing, I mean, what you're doing out there seems to be very proactive, and, the speed with which your team's moving and doing stuff is incredible. I'm just wondering, like, even though we've communicated everything up to this point, maybe the week or the day or a couple days before, we just say, this is what's happening on Facebook and/or next door, just to proactively avoid the comments that we're getting.
Yeah.
Good point.
Yeah.
And I can send out an email blast.
Email blast?
Yeah, I mean, the email blasts are one thing, but, it seems like the comments are coming on social media, so.
I would say if we're going to do that, John's got enough on his plate, somebody on this board needs to
Agreed.
be on social media.
Yeah,
and
agreed.
just send it
Yeah,
out.
and that's
So-
fine, John. You can let me know, and I'll go on there and just, let them know, so you just give me some time for it to review it. I mean, I can send something out that they're going to trim the palm trees in the community, so people know. So just...
And I don't think we need to do it for everything, hey, we got new flowers. It's the big
Yeah,
things,
like the tree
Yeah.
trimming, the taking these things down. Yeah, I agree, and that's a very good point. So John, I will take care of that, you'll just have to let me know.
Absolutely. I'm making a note of that.
Obviously got a big response to my last Facebook.
And then other than that, that's really all I got.
I have one
Unless you
more
have any
thing.
questions for me.
We all know Crosby. Crosby has
Yes.
resigned. She has given us her last day will be May 5th.
Yeah.
She's been with us for 10 years. She's pursuing something else. We have hired, John and Jeff have hired Leslie Garcia, who has a tremendous amount of experience, has worked with ADP. I've met her, and I would ask that the board members at some point in time just stop down and introduce yourself. Lovely
She
lady.
started?
Yes,
She
she
started
started.
already, and she's
Wonderful.
jumped in, both feet and doing the work. So I would just ask that you, at some point in time, pop down and introduce yourself, because I think, and she's really, and John said that this is the first time that in putting out
Job.
a job ad, that, how many responses did you have?
50 or 60?
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
The response was immense. I've never had a response for a position like this, for a position period. It blew my mind. The qualifications too. I had 20 people that were really qualified, some overly qualified people, like what's happening here, and it was a hard decision, especially when somebody's been with for 10 years, it's like, hey, am I gonna get along with this person? This person knows me for 10 years, and they know about my family and stuff like that. But Leslie's a wonderful person. She's bilingual, which helps us out very immensely, because now I don't feel bad when I pull a guy aside who doesn't even speak very good English to translate for me. That's not his job. And he's probably wondering if he's even doing a good job.
Right.
So, but she's a wonderful person, and please stop down and introduce yourself, because I wanted to bring her up here, but she's kind of shy, and she's
Yeah,
like,
she
no
wasn't
way.
really good.
So,
Be in the midst of it, so I did tell her
Yeah.
this morning that you guys at some point in time would stop down and introduce yourselves.
John.
With that being said, yes.
Go ahead. I don't know.
Leslie will not be doing the meter reads. We will have Brian
Freeman.
doing that. He is the irrigation guru. He has taken that on and he will be doing that. And it's something that I wanted to get off of Crosby's plate, but it just didn't work. And with that being said, Chuck, we sent all those things to Anna Vivian for February and March. We still haven't gotten a bill. So I don't know, she said she received them all. So, I know we've sent them, Brian's going to start reading them with Crosby, working with him
Brian and I will start tomorrow.
tomorrow, but we've sent February, we've sent March, and nobody still has gotten a bill, so I don't know where the disconnect is, and I know that the homeowners are looking at us, and, when that was sent out, I asked that you all respond, that you received it, and Angelina did respond that she received it, so I don't know why we're not getting the bills at this point, so.
Chuck, this program that you're using, it doesn't automatically put late fees in, does it? Because I don't want 9 million people coming at us.
No, you can waive them.
Yeah, they'll all be waived,
You know what I'm
except for
saying?
yours.
Yeah.
I mean, it's set up to do
I'm old
late
money.
fees and penalty rates and all of that, but no.
Now, at this point,
So
we
we
are
get
not.
this-
What are we going to do, though, if, say we have some customers out there that haven't gotten a bill in 6 months, and they had a leak and they don't know about it?
That's going to happen.
That's going to
Yeah.
happen.
That's going to happen.
And the bottom line is, we're going to have to look at, okay, so John Brown has, $300 bill because there was a leak. We can make accommodations to fix that, waive the fees until that's set up. We will make accommodations because there's been a complete disconnect somewhere along the line, and we are not going to penalize the residents.
I agree, I'm just asking.
Yeah, no.
I want out so people know that.
Oh, yeah, no, and that's my feeling at this point, that
He's
we
going
are
to be
not.
proactive.
Be prepared with that too, because we've also had several power surges. Typically, when you get a power surge, if you don't have the backup battery,
It
it
goes 7 days a
resets to
week.
run every day.
3 different times.
Yes. So there's going to be some potential for some pretty darn big irrigation bills.
Right, so
I've already
that,
prepared my
And
email.
then there's the issue of, when I read meters, I had to go back and I read some meters. Some of them have such a high credit. Like the gallonage it's saying that they're 1 million gallons in credit. There's no way that they are. But you'd have to give them a credit for like 9 years every month for that to, so, and I was thinking, how can this go back and get rectified? And the only thing I can think of is you take the correct number you have then and go back and see where that last number was, where it was right, and then figure out what was in between, and then bill them accordingly per
Yeah.
month. But that's a lot. It's a lot of
Well,
work.
How many are there like that?
There was, I think, 200 or some, and I got that list, and I did all 200, and there was maybe
yeah,
5 that were, oh, this was just a simple misread.
Right.
Oh, this one was it. All of them were kind of, okay, these numbers, it's not even, they were way off, just completely.
so Chuck, can we have Anna Vivian at least send us what she's going to bill before she sends it out, so we can look at it and say,
These are, like I said, these are going to be the credit ones, where the number that was read is, and the correct number, they have credits, according to the numbers, they would have credits. I don't know how she's billing them. I don't know if she even would.
yeah,
There's, just to get this caught up, obviously, we can't be doing anything with late fees. We can't be doing anything with penalty rates. Okay,
Correct.
it's going to be flat amount. Verify that the reading is correct on the meter.
Right.
And all water used, you can't really dispute, the water went through the meter.
Right.
You're going to get billed at the flat rate. So
Okay.
that's your catch-up, and then going forward, we'll reinstate. But
Gotcha.
I've advised her not to do anything with late fees or penalty rates until we get this first catch-up bill out the door.
okay.
What was the
I
last-
see what you're saying though, because I saw some of those where there were some residents that, just to throw a number out, the meter said 20,000, but their bill was for 150,000. So what you're saying is that's a massive credit. So
Yeah.
But they never paid it anyway. I mean,
Right.
well, some may have.
Right.
To the
But-
extent they've paid it, they'll be given an opportunity
Yeah.
to leave it on account, or we'll issue a credit check.
Right, so, we have to work that out, but I'd like to know why, since she got February and March,
Yeah, I just sent her an email to find out
Okay.
where we're at.
And they're gonna
I mean, there's
start-
obviously a huge mess there to untangle.
No, absolutely. But the guys will be doing it again this
Tomorrow.
week.
Starting tomorrow.
And getting it out, so.
Yeah, it's real frustrating, because, I mean, we've been 3 or 4 meetings now where residents have come up, and we've instituted a new meter reading process, so the back end has to catch up with everything else.
Right. So the residents need to know, and I'm not sure how many actually watched this video, and I will put it in the next newsletter. We have done what we needed to do. We're working with the department handling this, and we will get this straightened out. And again, there will be no late fees or penalty, but we will get that taken care of. It's just been, I mean, I know that, we have proof that this stuff was sent, so whether it went to their spam or something happened.
Oh, trust me, they're motivated to get the stuff out the door, because they're handling an unnecessary load of phone calls.
Oh, I'm sure they are.
I mean, they've been.
They're gonna get a lot more.
I'm surprised they didn't actually walk away from this account, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
That's where the level of frustration was.
Oh, and I'm sure it is, but I still can't wrap my head around, we sent them, and I have to be honest, Chuck, I said, I can't.
I'll show you the email chain where they were requesting weekly for months to get the readings so they could get the bills out the door.
Okay.
So, I mean, the frustration has
It's been
gone
on
in both directions.
Right,
so.
but again, my concern is we said February and March, and I know there's untangling things, so, and that's why I've asked, and Brian and John will keep you and I on the email, so I know they've been sent. And I get a response from Anna Vivian, yes, I've received it. So-
Yeah, I want to continue to be on that. I wanna see
Absolutely,
them
because
go.
I want to make sure that they're sent, and I know. Okay,
There's a disconnect, where is it?
I don't know.
I have no idea. I do know that there was issues when Crosby was sending the emails, because she was sending them with her personal address rather than a CDD address, and I don't know where it was going, but
But they never
I wasn't
got-
getting them, and Vivian wasn't getting them.
One of the things we found out too, and this kind of shocked me, is that in the email, there was like an extra period in Chuck's email. So if you send it to there,
It went,
it went, but it didn't go anywhere.
It should have bounced back.
Yeah.
Or some, right, and I was taught that by Crosby, taught me, hey, if something happens like that, this is where you need to look,
Right.
So,
so the other thing that I've asked them to do is to set up a separate Stony Brook Irrigation Gmail account, and that's all that's going to go through that one account. So I think they were setting that up, however you want to name it, so that it's not affecting John's email or anybody else's. It's strictly going through the new Gmail account.
Okay.
So that'll make it easier so if we're looking for something, it's just in an email sent file.
Well, whoever's sending it can also set up delivery receipt and read receipt
Right.
on what they're sending. And that needs to be done on every one of these.
And I think Leslie or Brian, however you do that, John, we can work on that.
what's
Kind
it?
of
Set up
surprised
delivery
they don't
what?
have an
They could
FTP
delivery,
site where
the
you
actual
just
email
load.
did get delivered to where it was supposed to go, and it was read.
The utility doesn't have an FTP site where you can just load the spreadsheet?
Delivery receipt and read receipt.
I mean, that would,
There was some issue with doing that in the field, so. Because my thoughts were, you ought to be able to just do this on a tablet, and then you've got a digital file, it's not writing it in by hand, just do it
Right.
digitally, and then
And
you
they're using
upload
the
it.
tablets, and
Okay.
so, but we're working on
Good,
it.
okay.
So we are continuing.
And by them including me on these email transactions, they'll go through our server and be held in perpetuity as a public
Right,
record.
and I
so.
have that as well, so, okay. All right, John, anything else? Oh, cameras.
I got one thing for John.
Oh, yeah, Phil.
The canopy of Live Oaks by Sheridan and the first hole, right crossing Stony Brook Club Drive.
Yeah, okay.
They need to be raised.
Okay.
Because I saw a truck and a car almost nail each other because the truck tried to avoid it. It was too high.
Okay.
Going to hit the branches. I've almost hit the branches on my trailer, and it's not that tall. So it needs to be, that canopy over there needs to be raised. It's
Can they
low.
do that while they're doing the palms?
Yeah, but if it's that bad, we'll go out there and get it, just so it's not, and then they can finish it off for us.
Okay, cool. All right.
actually, John, on the pumps, are we doing common area and golf course, or just common area?
Just common area, just common area. We only do the golf course once, and that's in the fall. We'll do that in
Right, I just checked.
October, November.
Cameras?
Cameras, so yeah, so we got I bought some trail cameras, I got one set up We're gonna install it this week on 7. I got 2 of them. I'm gonna get them both set up and install them on 7 and 15.
But they can be moved.
They can't be moved. We haven't had any issues thus far. But to that being said, that would be something good on the ball field, because on the ball field, as I was speaking with Eileen yesterday, you can sneak in your car or your cart from the back, and there's no cameras, right? So, and there's plenty of good spots there to put a camera, so that you can hide very well. But that's only gonna pick people coming off. It doesn't mean that they went on the ball field, right?
Yeah.
I was thinking about that.
But since that's HOA property.
That's HOA property. It's just something to think about for the HOA to
Right,
help
so,
mitigate something like that.
Elizabeth, we can talk afterwards to get, and if you choose to do that, there is a cost and then there's a monthly maintenance. Or,
Yeah, we pay, it's like $5 a month through Verizon. You set it all up through their app, and what that does is it just gives you unlimited pictures, on-demand pictures, to have that service of on-demand. As soon as it takes a picture, I get it, see,
Right.
that, that real time.
so we will be.
And you can
getting-
cancel it at any time.
Yeah, we will get it, but I think for the ball field, and how much was the camera, John?
Carry roughly $200 a piece.
So I think that's something that, for the ball field, you guys might want to look at. I mean,
Pretty sure it's the one you recommended.
And if you guys do approve it, there needs to be a sign that says this field's being surveilled, and that'll deter some of it too. So just a little sign count, well, the cart pass sign doesn't really work, but at least something like that.
it was just a suggestion, just a suggestion.
Something else. John, is that camera battery powered?
It is.
Okay.
It is 8, is it 12? 12 double A's.
How long will that last?
I forget what it said, a few weeks, or like a couple weeks, or week, yeah, maybe longer than maybe 2 weeks, I forget what it said.
So is it continuously recording? Is it
No, only
activated by
when
motion?
an image comes by motion, yeah.
So that battery should last then, if that's the case.
Yeah, you would think, hopefully, depending on the battery, I'm sure that has something to do with it too.
Does it have good night capability?
It does.
Okay.
Yeah,
It
that
does.
was
Deer
right.
camera.
But, once again, so I was thinking the ball field, if you had it on that back entryway, it would take a picture of what's coming on at night, but you don't know that necessarily went over there and did the damage.
So you'd have to probably have 2, one on each side.
One on each side, or maybe one down towards Alex's shed, looking towards the field. That way. Now you
I mean, if the HOA decides to do that, maybe you can work with them.
We'll work with them to-
Work
yeah,
together to see where we should put them. So,
And I know that there was the cameras from the school too.
Right,
Was that a possibility?
Pine Woods does have cameras that face the field, and I have contacted the Board of Ed and trying to get pictures from last Saturday night, before these individuals fessed up that they did it. And we can request a public records request to see if will give us the video. So I'm working on that, so we'll have that. And we do the police report, we have all of Todd's pictures from Sunday, and if we get those pictures, we can just add that to the police report.
And before I go, so I wanted to ask you, because Dorman Moore sent that quote in for those, and why they're planting these, because it'd be kind of cheaper if they do it, but you don't have to on the wall. Do we want to go ahead and plant those plants? We're ready with irrigation and sod. We were just kind of waiting on the HOA and the Miramar to figure out the wall issue.
Elizabeth, do you know when they might fix that wall?
I don't know. I know that Todd is in contact with someone. I'm just getting.
But when they fixed it last time, they did it on their
They
side.
did it on their side, so I would say sooner than later, let's get the
It seemed like
bushes up.
it took several years after Irma for that wall to be fixed, so I would imagine.
They fixed it last year, didn't they?
Yes, so it was like 3 years, 4 years.
I'll be happy to secure a proposal for it. I work with those contractors all the time.
If you could do that and give it to Elizabeth and the HOA, that would be great to get that done, but sooner than later, because I know they fixed it from the other side. I would rather, and you're giving them a leeway between there.
Yeah, it's over 10 feet.
I would say sooner than later, let's get it done.
John, are you doing Firebush or Calusa?
Calusa.
Calusa.
And then is the irrigation currently working in that area?
Yes, we make sure that it's ready, and actually ready for Calusa. We had it all prepped. We were just kind of waiting on that, between the HOA and Miramar, figuring out what they were going to do there.
Where Where will the Calusa stop and I guess the Firebush start? Just leaving the existing Firebush and
Just leaving, and if we want, I mean, we could take that Firebush out and put Calusa there and keep it going.
Well,
It's not much, I mean, it wouldn't be.
Seemed like we would want to be consistent.
consistent,
Yeah,
I agree.
because we originally put that up, that was a request by some members, just to say, hey, when you leave the community, you can see the wall.
I would
With
like
that
to do-
being said, they do cover up that hole that's in the wall right now, but, you know, if you put smaller plants, you're gonna have that, but,
Well,
there's other holes as well right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll
I
have,
would
all
like to
right.
be consistent,
Then let's, yeah, I think you're right, I think we'll move on.
because it's going to, if we're going to do it, let's do it right.
Okay,
Okay?
all right, I'll have them put that on there,
Thank you.
and that's all I have.
Really? Jeff, your turn.
Okay. I'll do my best. I think I gave you guys a little sheet here. Shows that looks like April's going to be another solid month. We're going to meet budget or surpass it. And this kind of caps off what's been a really good season. Next month, Adam's been over and he's done some great work with some different spreadsheets on revenue. And we've got some proposals we want to start as the budget process starts for next year. I don't know how many board members are aware that Old Corkscrew is going to go completely private as of January 1st. And that will once again knock down the public access golf courses in Lee County down another one. And basically, we'll be competing against the city of Fort Myers golf courses, and in this area, St. Carlos, and that's it. So that is going to allow us some abilities to do some things that maybe weren't possible in the past, and give us some different avenues of revenue that are going to maybe enhance the golf course, as far as the number of players that go out and the amount of damage those players do on the golf course, as well as increasing our revenue numbers.
And Jeff, I know we spoke about it. We really haven't raised rates too much.
Well,
Everything else has raised, everything.
We've gone up on the highest end quite a bit for the last 4 or 5 years, but we haven't gone up on the
The
groups and leagues as much, as aggressively as we've gone up on the high-end rate. And, we're considering a 20% increase across the board.
And I think we should, and I know residents will question, but I know that we originally gave them, residents, a discounted rate because they were paying for the bond, which will be paid off in May. So I think across the board, we need to raise rates.
I would say that the resident rate can be at a different figure, though.
Yes.
It doesn't have to be at 20%.
No, it does not, but I think something.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's up to the board. I just make a recommendation.
Right. When we get to the budget part, I think we need to look at that, so.
We're starting to see more and more resident play, which is good. That's what we want. I would like to see our leagues become more resident heavy. The fact that where maybe 80% of the league would be resident instead of the 30 to 40% it is now. So
I
anyway.
have to agree with you.
Anyway, that's where we are with those.
And Jeff, can I just say one thing? I know the Wednesday Women's League, if somebody new wanted to participate and they were a resident, they were bumped to the top of the list. There was a wait list. And I think the other leagues need to do that as well.
As far as the golf operations, everything's going good. I got a little bit of sad news while we're sitting here. I don't know if a lot of you know Dasha that works for me. Her father passed away last night and had a heart attack, so the kids were sending me texts when we're sitting here about it. He's got to be somewhere around my age, which is kind of scary, but
They're on the East Coast.
yeah, so Dasha's been here for 4 years, and she's a good employee and a good kid, and I hate to see that happen. And then junior programs are going good. We kicked off some junior play this past Sunday. We have another event this Sunday, and then we have some stuff later in the summer. Everything's going fairly well there. And, you know, the range has been exceptional. We are seeing a little bit of after-hours activity after 6, which is good. And we will keep the range open unless John tells me otherwise, the days that we're closed on Monday. So one of the staff will come up and open the machine up, and then there's a staff member coming in who will pick the range and fill the machine and keep it full while they're there and fill it to the max right before they leave. So we shouldn't run into any kind of issues per se of it running out of balls. The golf course will be closed, but the range machine will be open. And that was,
I was thinking of something just on that, for airifications, having the range open, but letting them know that the putting green should be closed.
we can do that. Gene?
How late are you going to be open?
Probably 8 o'clock or so. One of the staff that works inside the community will come to close it. Just pull down the door and lock it up. So we'll work those details out. But we will keep it open. We hope to keep it open 365 days of the year, including Christmas. So
What is the procedure to reload that thing?
the doors in the back open up, and you take the barrels and just dump them in.
Because I did happen to be there Sunday and it ran out.
So if they dump,
So it's like, you check it, I mean, what?
It holds
is there a
it holds
notification or
6,000.
anything?
It holds 6,000 balls. They ran out on Sunday?
Yeah.
Good to know.
I mean, if they dump them in there before the pro shop closes, that should more than last.
That's what they've been doing, and it's
Yeah.
worked out really well.
Yeah.
I teed off at 2 o'clock.
You teed up at 2 o'clock and it ran out?
Yeah, it was, and it just ran out because the guys in front of me got them, and then me and some other ladies, I came up and I
Probably after the
code,
surge.
nothing was happening, and
Did they come fill it?
yeah, I went back in the pro shop, but, just, I didn't know if do they do it at noon, or, I mean, is it just something that,
Well, they're supposed to check it. I mean, we have